works. And the truck is out there. There's my source of CO out there. It works. Welcome back. Okay, I didn't crank any videos out last week because I got bronchitis and a sinus infection. Grandson came over. Both grandsons came over. Both of them were sick at some point, but the youngest, Logan, came over and I had to babysit him one night. Got sick. Feels a lot like pneumonia. His dad actually got pneumonia from this stuff. So lucky to survive with just bronchitis. So still coughing up a lung, so if I pause the video while I'm hacking up something, thanks for sticking with me. All right, today, took a Friday off because I wanted a Friday off, and I'm gonna take next Friday off too, so we're gonna crank some content out. We've got a lot of little things to be doing, so I'm gonna get some little things done. Dug under the dash, I'm gonna need to replace all of that lovely tubing, piping, duct work for all of the heater dash stuff and air conditioning. So I'm gonna be looking for that today. You don't need to watch me do that. You saw the light project from the last time, so I really need to button some of that stuff back up, and I want to install a solution and then wait for dark and go out and test it in a parking lot. That'll be a few videos because it'll take quite a bit of time to do that. So we'll get that done. I've got to fix the dome light fitment problem because these new ones that were made by whoever don't fit very well, so I want to make sure I can get them on and off. You saw my LEDs there. I need to also figure out how I'm going to put these in. These are being that the LED light bars for the back of the truck, so when I'm winding down the day or whatever, I'll have these back there. They put some lovely 3M tape on there, but not sure if that's the solution or not. They got some clips. I haven't decided how that's going to go down. We'll do that at some point. And I got approval funding wise for my windshield.
It says right here we have $401,000.
Jackpot.
You missed it.
That says you have a 401k account.
So I'll be sourcing a windshield soon, and one of the dads on Logan's baseball team is a windshield installer. So I will have him install it for me, and we will be ready to button up the front end and get it ready and start preparing to drive it and get the dash back together and moving everything in a let's use it sort of way. I'm excited about that part.
Who's ready? I'm ready. Who's ready? I'm ready. Who's ready? I'm ready.
Jared at West OK Overland. He's the one who's mapped almost all of the dirt roads in western Oklahoma, west of the Indian Meridian. He got sent one of these ITIL, anyway, CO testers, and I watched that and I was like, hey, that's something I might be interested in. I haven't decided how I'm going to heat the inside of the Range Rover yet. There's a propane heater you can do. I don't know that it'll be that cold to need one of those. I mean, you want to go to Colorado, you probably want one of those. But I am thinking at this point a very efficient electric blanket might work just as well. But we're going to experiment, probably start with the electric blanket since they're a fraction of the cost of a Propex heater, which is around $1,000. And but they're Nito Mosquito and they're on propane, and if I reduce the number of fuels I'm using down to propane and petrol, gasoline as we call it in America, I'll be a lot happier too. So okay, so I've got this thing fired up, and if you saw the front clip, it does work, and I was just standing in the garage and that's just blowing back here. The wind is barely moving the trees. Well, it's starting up now. Well, and it started earlier, it was like dead still outside. But I'm gonna walk over and put this by the exhaust, and you will quickly see that this thing will alarm. It's set at 60 parts per whatever, millions maybe, I guess. I don't know. But we're gonna do this first. The more parts per million, the more blinky and alarmy you get. That's pretty cool. So now I'm gonna worry a lot less about whether I'm killing myself if I'm sleeping in the back of the truck. And as it comes back down, it shuts down. So it also does relative humidity and the temperature, which we are always guessing and pulling up our phones for. So that might not be an option somewhere else. It's USB and pretty cool, I think. Anyway, okay, if Jared says it's good, I'm good too. Anyway, whatever. Jared's really cool. He doesn't get a lot of products, so when he does pitch a product, you can bet he's already tried it and he likes it, because he won't pitch anything he doesn't like. But they sent it to him and said, hey, would you evaluate this? And he said yes, and then he actually gave it a positive rating. So they were not expensive, under $50 I think, and I snapped one up just because my friend said they were good. All right, that's it. Range Rover's running right now. We also have the cell phone device that needs to be installed, the booster. I'm still thinking I'm gonna do that. I'm probably wasting my time. I know in 5 years, all of our cell phones will work from space. And I won't really care if I have a booster or not, because I'll have space-based text messaging. So it's already out there. I just don't have a phone that does it right now. And it's coming, so I know that's there. I'm not a big, people are gonna ask. You're not really gonna ask, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm not a big take the Skynet with me on an internet trip. I don't care about getting on the internet while I'm gone. The whole point of me going out is to be away from the computers. I do computers all day for 40 years. And I only do them for hobby now, and when I'm on my own time. And so, you know, making videos for you good people and my loyal watchers. I have 288 followers now.
You're fooling yourself.
That, by the way.
Oh, it's not too shabby for me.
But I do have to mount that booster piece back there and then wire the antenna up into the roof rack. So we got that sorted out. I got some tips from my friend Mike, who has all the Jaguars, about sound. I know Trevor asked me at Tumbleweed Garage, asked me about putting a subwoofer in my box, and apparently that's not gonna work out because I would basically have to redesign the box. So he's like, you're gonna put a box in that? No. So there might be another way for me to do this and put the subwoofer in the middle of the truck. So experiments and thoughts about that are gonna be happening soon. I don't need a lot of bass. I don't need to be like low riding. I really don't, but I do like to hear my music when I'm in the truck, and that'll be something we're gonna be experimenting with at some point. My son has some boost stuff, and I think he still has a subwoofer in the garage that he doesn't have installed in his current car. So there's some stuff around that I might be able to play with, but we'll see. Again, that's another part of the front end of the dash, is getting all the radio stuff built in. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of wiring. There's a lot of thinking that needs to occur. So my brain's been working on that lately. All right, I can smell the exhaust, and the exhaust thing is not going off, but it is starting to give me a headache. So I'm gonna shut the truck off, get started on a few things, and I'll film stuff as I go if I think you'll find it interesting. All right. Okay, we're adjusting these light fixtures to fit the new, because the old ones just fell apart. I mean, disintegrated after 30 years. So these I found, I don't remember where I bought them, 15 years ago. I never installed them, but now I've got them installed. So now, what they didn't do before was fit well. you couldn't get them on there. You could get 2 or 3 on and be like, oh, it wouldn't fit. So after a careful grinding of this one, and actually sorting out that this one doesn't fit this outfit. No, it does. Okay. So what it really is, it's not the lens, it's just the posts. So, well, let's go back. It is the lens because it was printed with more thickness in this area than needed. So what I did was I adjusted the posts with my Dremel chainsaw. Boom. All right, so that makes them fit exceptionally well now. So they drop right in and you can turn them and they lock. Yay. But then I look at this piece and I'm like, good, thing looks like crap. So yeah, it needs a coat of paint. Let's do some paint. Let's do some paint. Let's get this switch out of the way first. Then we'll clean it up with some, clean it up, get it degreased, and we'll go, tape it off and we'll go, Those don't look so great, do they? I wonder if those are, no, yeah, they're removable, but I'm just gonna spray, well, yeah, I'll remove them. So let's not break them. No breaky. I'm gonna do this without breaking them.
Please, I beg of you, I will do anything to keep you from doing that.
The pucker factor on this is pretty high. I don't want to break this. Okay, not touching it anymore. That's gonna stay that way. I'll spray around it and we'll do this and make sure it works out. Okay, taping and cleaning. Okay, gotta clean this up too. I bled on it last week, so
I ain't got time to bleed.
let's get the blood off. high quality blood removal team. It's got blood on it. All right. See, that fits. Lovely. Turn, click. Shaking and it didn't fall out. Yay. All right. Mission accomplished. Oh, we're waiting on our paint to dry on the other one. It's over there. Let's go get, it's over there. Why don't I take you with me? All right, it's drying. Still drying. It's like a billion in here. So it's drying very well. I'm out of that color, so I'm gonna have to hope that that's good enough. It's starting to get toasty in here. So it was supposed to be warm today. Thunderstorms this afternoon, they said. I'm looking in the sky and I don't see any clouds. Nope, not a cloud one. No cloudages. That doesn't mean anything in Oklahoma, because in 15 minutes there'll be a thunderstorm up. That won't come, that won't, I can't get paint to stick that. I haven't done anything else and I ran out of paint. So I got a little bit there and a little bit there, but you know what, I'm close enough. I'm happy with it. I don't have any satin to spray over it, so we'll just have to go with that as our solution. That's it. That's it for this. Yay. All right, let's do some soldering, I think, maybe, yeah? Okay, more unboxing. I forgot I bought this. Oh, I didn't forget I bought it. I forgot to show it to you earlier. Okay, let's see how lucky we are at... Oh, look at this sexy leather. Ooh, so nice and supple. Mm.
Everyone asks, Corinthian leather? Of course, why not the best?
Oh, can you see it? Okay, you can. Yeah, so that's what that's gonna be. That's what we're gonna cover. What we're going to cover our box with. Sexy. Okay, so that's, sorry about the camera. All right, so that's going to be our cover. Ooh, sexy. So it's pretty nice. I may have to make myself a pair of pants out of that. No. All right, so that's that. Okay, got that. Now we're going to solder up the. Lost that. We're going to solder up the connections on the board. I'm going to need some jump bars. So let's do this. Okay, so the jumpers that go from here to the individual switches have to be made. So we've got to estimate how much, like the box is going to sit. You can't see what I'm pointing at. The box is going to sit up here. So we're going to need to make enough jumper to go through the box into this, wherever it's located in there, which is going to be above the wheel well. So it's going to be mostly somewhat further up. So I'm thinking if that is... It's not like we pretend like we remember how big the box is or anything, but we need to be somewhere in that neighborhood. That's 32 inches of lead. So we probably need to build, I think I'm 36 inches of lead. So we need 36 inches of wire to go from here on the, I need two cameras, from go to here to here's on the circuit board. So that's what we need. And then we'll run the power line up in there, and then these guys will go over there. So I'll need some more of that, what do you call that stuff, where it's the conduit stuff. I have to buy it from China. All right, yeah, so I'll have to get some of that to make it look pretty, or the evil German dude will make fun of me viciously. He'll probably still make fun of me, but because those solder joints are like the bomb and all. So yeah, okay, that's what we're gonna do next. Let's make some wires and let's start some solders and let's drill a hole and let's figure out where this is gonna mount. Okay, let's do it. Boom! Various technologies have been invented since I started doing electronics somewhat 50 years ago. 45. So I've got these. I saw them online. I thought, neato mosquito, cool. So these are those Chinese heat shrink joints. So when you heat them, they shrink up and that lead in there makes a solder joint. So let's test one and see if it's going to make the connections I'm hoping for. So I've got some 14 stranded. So let's cut a couple of pieces off. There's Drew. What up, my dog?
What are you doing?
Wiring up this stuff. What are you doing?
Hanging.
Hanging. You want to film?
Sure.
Cool. Camera's there. And it's on. It's running. Say hi, Drew.
Hello, camera.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pull this end off. And we're going to pull an end off on the other side as well. And we're going to put these two inside the tube and then heat shrink them together. I didn't spiral them. I'm just going to stick them in there and see what happens. It is indeed an experiment. Alright. Okay, so connected, and I'm just pushing those two into each other. So those wires are very well connected inside. So we'll see if the heater does what. Oh, we already pulled it out. Let's try again. All right, so we're getting that lined up. Oop, everybody in the hall, let's go, boys. All right, and then we're gonna push that into the other one. So now that the two wires are now sharing space in the middle. So we're all piled up together here. Let's go with hot. I can't see hot on my switch. And we're going to heat that up. So the heat shrink is shrinking the plastic. Now I'm hoping that the lead is shrinking as well. Since it's an experiment, we can just let that sucker run for a bit. Let's see if we can get that metal really good. This reminds me of working with my dad. You know why?
Why?
Well, his name was William, like yours, and he smoked all the time when we worked together. So my son has taken a stoke there while we're working, and I'm getting some warm, fuzzy feedback from that. All right. You made me miss my dad, you bastard. Okay.
Double negative. Well, fucked.
Okay. So if you look real close, you can see that solder.
Behind that.
So if you look real close, you can see the solder. See the silvery bit right there? It did indeed melt together. I'm gonna let that cool. I'm gonna go put it in the air conditioner for a second and see if it'll work. Okay. Now we're going to test it and see if it's strong. Not that we're taking this to the space shuttle or anything, but I'm gonna go with that's gonna work. I'm good with that.
Yep.
All right, we'll do more. Okay, let's do a bunch more. And we're gonna do a bunch more in the, oh, do I need this? I do eventually. First, we're gonna do these that go to...
What does this go to?
The lights. Remember the lights up at the top?
Okay.
The lights I told you about. All right, we're just gonna cut off our crazy wiring attempts there. Start over. Okay. Okay. All right, we're gonna do this one. I'm gonna give that a little bit off the top, not over my work. So we'll get another red one. And we'll thread it onto there. I'm gonna twist this as I slide it down so that it goes into the solder, gets that at least as close to the solder as I can. There it is. I can see it just barely sticking out the back side there. All right, now we're gonna put our light in. Make sure those all line up. Everybody's inside. Go, team, go. All right, I'm gonna twirl that as I go until I get it to slide in. Oh, look at that. That wire is, the shielding on that wire is very thick. That is not going to work. That is not going to work. Crap. Dang it. Okay, so what's going on? So the diameter of the wire to the lights is too thick. It doesn't go past the, it doesn't go into the shielding very well. So we'll have to bump up. And the next size up is blue, which is like a chasm. I don't know if that's gonna shrink enough. All right, experiment number 2. Let's get another chunk of that and see if we can make that work. Okay. Do you ever want to be compared to William Eugene Stevens?
I'll take it.
You take it? Oh, wait, hold on. My turn to camera. Come back. Turn around and go back. Turn around. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, I don't see him now.
What are you talking
Take your hat off. There's a spider on it. There he is. Little crab spider. I'm gonna shake him off. Been catching spiders all in here and bugs and everything else. I knew I should tell Drew about that because he'd feel it crawling on his scalp. He would not enjoy it. You get him off? He's not gonna hurt you. It's just a crab spider. Don't ruin your hat. It's your SIG. All right, so now I've got 2 wires. All right, we're gonna try this with the gigantic connector, and I do not have high hopes. All right, blue. Oh, I dropped the blue one right here. Are you out? Okay, oops, got one out. Let's go here. Okay, so we got this. So I'm gonna get this one threaded in, well into the middle. I'm gonna take this one, we're gonna go the same way, opposite way, and we're gonna put those 2 together in there. And so now they're all nice and lovely. You can see that as I slide that back and forth. They share the same space in the middle. Well, that's not physically true, but they're in the same zone. Let's call it zone. There goes the solder spreading in there. Okay, blue might work. I have good feelings about blue. We'll let that cool for a second, but that turned out. Looks like it turned out pretty good. So we'll let it cool so I don't tear the plastic, but theoretically that should not. Yeah, yeah. All right, that'll work. Okay, let's do that. We're gonna use blue now. Good for us. Yeah, yes. All right, let's get started. Bingo.
You're just practicing with those?
Those right there? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let me make sure it worked. I mean, I put it all together and then you're like,
That was dumb. What'd you do there?
okay. And I forgot what I was connecting these to. Damn it. All right, this is a light. So that needs to go to this. So that needs to come off. These wires are getting shorter and shorter as I keep experimenting here.
Good thing though, right?
Kind of. I mean, you don't want to do too much, but you don't want to be sloppy about it either.
I mean, for this panel, you want it to be like a low profile, right?
Oh, yeah. So the box is going to be the only thing that stands up over the top. So there'll be all these wires in the back here go through a hole, and then all the wiring's underneath the decking. Which I just explained to them.
Is that box gonna go pretty much where it's sitting?
Yeah,
Like the
more or less.
Yeah. So it's gonna serve as a table and a.
It's more of a cabinet. The bed will be next to it. So there's no, I mean, if I was gonna hang out in there, yeah, I could set stuff on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not living in there. I'm just sleeping in there.
Yeah.
And sitting out rainstorms in there, and anyway, tornadoes like the one in Hinton. That was fun. I think I've told that story. Last time I took this Range Rover out, I went out on a trip. It was a combined trip, and a bunch of guys I just met for the first time, including Jared, who I mentioned earlier in the trip, before he started hardcore YouTubing. And we had a tornado hit Hinton that day, that night. And he was in a little ground tent next to my Range Rover while I was sleeping comfortably in the Range Rover. Sleeping is not really the true word, because the truck was buffeting so much you couldn't sleep in it, but I mean, 85-mile-an-hour winds. That's the second closest I've ever been to a tornado when I was camping. The first closest was when I was doing that 1750s event in Kansas City, and that big tornado came through in the valley below the campsite where I was, and I was sleeping in a wiki up. And the Kansas City football game, they had the blimp in town, and it took the blimp and pushed it 5 miles down the deal, and messed it up a little bit. So yeah, that was fun. Fun trip. All right, and all right. Okay, here's another one. Like cheer. It's almost not worth messing with. Cut this stuff. It's tedious. I'm not gonna make you watch all of these. Okay. Give me a red button there.
Give you a what?
Just shut it off. Okay, sorry, boring, but I had a great talk with my son. So we were chatting, and I was not working, so lots of time going by. But I did solder these points, and so I've got these in place now. I think this needs to be replaced. 1 minute on, 4 minutes off. It is not hot enough, so that's getting replaced with a fancier one. But I think these are not cold solder joints. Again, my dad's probably rolled over in his grave twice by now, but That's it. All right, we have all the wires wired to the truck and the lights, and everything's ready to go up there. So here's our current situation. So we're gonna put this up here. I want to be able to reach it from the back. So if I'm back here cooking, I want to be able to reach in here and go and turn the lights on and off. So putting it way up here, probably not a great plan. So probably somewhere in there. That's where it's going to probably wind up. That way I can turn these things on and off in the back. That might be a water pump someday. That might be who knows what, okay? More lights. So that's going to be back here. So that's what we're going to do. We need to mount this back under the truck, under the box. So we'll get that mounted back in there. Here's the cell phone booster that I talked about at the beginning. It's a WeBoost. My cousin gave it to me. What an awesome guy. But that needs to be back here as well. And it'll need power. And then this piece and all this wiring, that has to go all the way up to the front. So it sits up there. It'll be up there by the bunny you see by my finger. There's a rabbit in the driveway. There he goes. It'll be up here by the bulletproof mounting jack. And that way the cell phone can pick up this, whatever it's doing. And then we'll wire this in. We won't do this silliness. So, and then an antenna goes in here somehow, like right there. And then that's like, those are like $100 and something. Those are expensive. So, okay. Well, good news. These worked. I was very skeptical, but they did work. So, is there a better way to do it? Probably. But I'm not worried about that. Again, this isn't a space shuttle. This is not going to be, you know, it's rough, but it's not like, worry about it. Okay, let's talk about what we talked about earlier today. And I said, yeah, no, not a cloud in the sky. And then look what happened up north. Yeah, dark means bad. Anyway, yeah, dark is, oh, there goes a squirrel. I just got the wildlife farm here, don't I? Anyway, yeah, we got some thunderstorms rolling in, probably south of us. There's Lucy. So we got that. She's watching, well, I don't know, I thought she was watching that. But yeah, so the storms are rolling up. Looks like they're coming in from the west side of the state and then rolling into the northeast like they always do. So, all right, that's going to be all for this episode. I'm not say this week because I'm going to film again on someday. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get some more. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe. It's awesome when you do. If you got this far, you probably like the content. I'm a witty guy, or you just like what I'm doing, maybe. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Have a good week. Talk to you soon. Okay, off.